So you want to be holding in this week's Torah portion? Of course you do. Here are your Shpark Notes. Parashat, Balak. The Israelites are on the warpath, and they are cleaning up and taking names in the round-robin tournament known as the Ancient Near East Tribal Dominance Tournament. They are on such a hot win streak that the king of Moab, a guy named Balak, who gets his own parsha with his name on it, more on why that's weird in just a minute, gets super nervous and pulls out a desperate play call. The old curse your enemies with a mercenary prophet trick. Oldest trick in the book. And so he sends word to a guy named Balaam who hangs out in Petorah on the banks of the Euphrates River. And Balak's messengers say to Balaam, the king wants you to curse these Israelites. And Balaam says, okay, let me have a shluff and see what Hashem tells me in my dreams tonight. Hashem appears in Balaam's dreams and says, what do those guys want? And Balaam says, they want me to curse the Israelites. And Hashem says, LOL, don't do that. Those are my chosen people. They're blessed. Don't curse them. And so Balaam says, okay. And he finishes his dream, and then he wakes up in the morning and tells the bad news to the delegation from Moab. But Balak won't take no for an answer, and so he sends an even bigger and more esteemed delegation back to Balaam. Balaam once again says, let me shluff and dream, and then I'll get back to you with some deeds. Hashem speaks to Balaam again, but this time he says, you know what? Do go with them, but only say what I tell you that you're allowed to say. Balaam wakes up in the morning and says, good news, we can go curse the Jews. They have a big celebratory breakfast with mimosas and avocado toast, and then they head out to curse the Israelites. Hashem changes his mind and realizes this actually isn't a very good idea and is incensed as he sees Balaam heading out on his donkey to go curse the Israelites. So Hashem sends an angel. The angel appears on the path right before Balaam and his donkey, and the donkey's like, whoa, what's going on? Where did this angel come from? And so the donkey says, gotta get out of the way, and veers off the path. Then Balaam smacks him with a stick. The angel reappears, and this time right in front of the donkey again, so the donkey veers the other way, and this time goes against the wall and actually smashes Balaam's foot against the wall. And so Balaam smacks him with a stick. And the angel reappears a third time right in front of the donkey, and the donkey kind of rolls over on top of Balaam, and you'll never guess what Balaam does. Smacks him with a stick. And then the donkey talks. Stay with me here. And he says, hey, why the you keep beating me with that stick? Balaam says, because you're going the wrong way. Why are you steering off the path? Why don't you just stay on the path like you're supposed to? The donkey says, I'm sorry. I've been your donkey forever. Have I ever disobeyed you? Have I ever gone off the path before? Balaam is kind of taken aback and says, no, not that I can remember. And then the donkey is like, yeah, exactly. So maybe think to yourself for a little bit and say, this is unlike him. Maybe something else is going on. Balaam's like, oi, that makes sense. I'm sorry. And the donkey's like, yeah, you should be. Anyway, there's an angel with the sword right there. See ya. Balaam now sees the angel, and the angel says, the donkey's right. You are an and you have some nerve to be going out and cursing God's chosen people, even though God told him that he should go. Look, I'm not defending Balaam, but it's a little confusing. Anyway, the angel repeats the instructions. Go to Moab, but only say the things that Hashem is allowing you to say. Balaam's like, yeah, I thought that's what I was doing. I don't know why this is happening. And then everyone just stares at each other for a while. And then they all go about their business. When Balaam arrives, Balak is beyond stoked. He gets Balaam some tasty grub, shows him around the grounds, and says, all right, let's go curse some Israelites. And Balaam says, yeah, okay, but just as an FYI, I'm only allowed to say what Hashem tells me to say. And Balak is like, who's Hashem? And Balaam says, the God of Israel. And Balak says, okay, great. I'm sure he'll definitely tell you to curse his people. Not a lot of common sense going on in this parasha. So they get up to the overlook, peering over the Israelite camp. And Balak says, all right, curse away. And Balaam lets the Israelites have it with a beautiful poetic blessing. Balak says, no, that's the opposite of what I want. You know what? Let's try it again over on this hill. And once again, Balaam opens his mouth, and what comes out? Brachas. Balak, once again demonstrating his unrivaled wisdom, says, okay, let's try one more time on this third hill. If we go to this one, I'm sure things are going to be different this time. They're not. This time, Balaam gives a super bracha and then starts singing Ma Tovu, a song that we all sing today because it's such a banger. Balak and Balaam shake hands, and Balak says, "Thanks, this was horrible." And Balaam says, "Yes, I agree, but I think I gave you plenty of warning." And Balak says, "Yeah. Yep." But then, just when you think the story is over and there's a great resolution, the Israelites see just how hot the Moabite women are, and then things get all idol worshipy and real bad. So God kills 24,000 of the sinning Israelites, and then this guy named Pinchas and his zealous rage goes and kills 2 people as well. And then for some reason all of the killing stops because violence begets peace. There's a lot I don't understand about this parasha. Just being honest. Anyway, that's Parashat Balak. See why it's weird that he gets a parasha named after him? The rest is commentary. Go and learn.